What's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 news and information video. Guys, it feels so good to be able to say that again after long last. We are finally back into videos, into the thick of it, baby. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Today's news has me personally very excited. I've been itching to talk about specifically this for a while. Even when I was on my break, I was very tempted to break the break and just simply talk about this news because it's some really exciting stuff. So recently, Geek.com, which is a media outlet, ended up playing about an hour's worth of the Kingdom Hearts 3 demo consisting of both Toy Story and Olympus. Now, during their play session, there was actually a Square Enix PR representative with them, and they were actually able to ask this representative different questions about the game. Specifically though, we actually got some information towards the game length of Kingdom Hearts 3, and while I wouldn't say this is 100% accurate towards what the final end product of the game length of Kingdom Hearts 3 will be by the time the game releases early next year, the information that we have right here is definitely somewhat close to what we can probably expect. So let's read up on the information. Geek.com said in addition to the main story, players can look forward to several mini-games. One is a cooking mini-game with Remy from Ratatouille. You must find ingredients hidden across several of the worlds and use them to create new recipes. There are 20 different old-school Tigger Toys / Game & Watch style 2D side-scrolling games based on Mickey cartoons from the 1930s and 40s. Building your gummy ship, used for traveling to each world, is pretty much a minigame of its own. Kingdom Hearts 3 is around 40 to 50 hours if you stay on the critical path. Including the minigames, players can expect 80 plus hours of content. They go on to say, I was told Kingdom Hearts 3 is around 40 to 50 hours if one stays on the critical path. Including the minigames, players can possibly expect 80 plus hours of content. With that said, Square Enix has yet to finalize the game's exact length, as there are still many months to go before release. So that right there, from the sounds of it, is an estimate towards exactly what the game length for Kingdom Hearts 3 is currently looking like. 40 to 50 hours for the main story section of the game, and we're looking at about 80 plus hours if you include all of the story stuff with the extra side content thrown in as well. Now, when we look at the previous Kingdom Hearts titles and look at how long it would take you to finish at least the main story for those games, generally for most Kingdom Hearts titles, it takes you about 25 hours. You'll probably notice for each Kingdom Hearts game you play, by the time you finish its main story, generally the average completion time tends to clock in at about 25 hours. Birth by Sleep is sort of a little bit of a special case because that game's story is spread across 3 different playable characters, but even when you look at Birth by Sleep, it still clocks in close to that of 25 hours, but more so closer to that of 30. So when we're seeing Kingdom Hearts 3 having a main story game length of about 40 to 50 hours, almost pretty much doubling the amount of time of a previous Kingdom Hearts game, I think that's honestly pretty impressive. Although, that being said, I guess you could say it's also to be expected as well. As I've repeated many times, this is the first Kingdom Hearts game we've had on a system that is stronger than a PlayStation 2, obviously not including the remasters because they're remasters, and 0.2 because it's, well, a short episode. So I guess it goes without saying that it's expected that Kingdom Hearts 3 would be of the same length as a previous Kingdom Hearts title, if not longer. 40 to 50 hours though, for me personally, is really satisfying. We know that Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be the biggest Kingdom Hearts installment out of the whole entire series franchise, and especially with seeing how big these worlds are and all of the different cool unique things that you can do in each world, 40 to 50 hours most certainly makes a lot of sense to me. Now, Geek.com did mention that it does take about 40 to 50 hours if you do stay on the critical path. So what they mean by that is it will take you 40 to 50 so long as you're doing nothing but the main story, and that's it. We do know that there's going to be a lot of side distractions in Kingdom Hearts 3 and a lot of side content that you're going to be able to dip into. And especially with Geek.com saying that the additional content will raise the game's length from 50 hours to about 80 plus hours. That's some pretty impressive stuff, considering that this extra side content can give us an additional somewhere around 30 hours. As we've seen in the past, the side stuff usually consists of minigames, secret bosses, new endgame areas, challenges, gummy ship stuff, and synthesis. many of these elements will be returning, but with an even bigger content load. When we look at previous Kingdom Hearts titles, including the extra endgame content and any other sort of side content that is available to do, by the end of all of that, including the main story, the game length generally comes in at about 40 to 50 hours, and this is set for Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, Birth by Sleep, and Dream Drop Distance, mainly because these are the Kingdom Hearts games that have a decent amount of endgame content to do once you've finished the main story. So previously, we were used to around about 25 hours of main story content, and then somewhere around an additional 20 to 25 hours of endgame content for previous Kingdom Hearts games, raising the max game time to around about 50 to 60 hours. Whereas when we look at Kingdom Hearts 3, we're more so pushing the 80+ hour mark, and I have to say that that really does put a smile on my face. I think for me personally, when I get my first experience of the game, I'm not going to be just sticking to the critical path just to get a 40 to 50 hour playthrough. I'm definitely going to be dipping into all of that side stuff along the way, making sure that by the time I actually do finish the main story, I definitely want to be clocking in at about the 60-hour mark to then finish any of the extra endgame content that I will unlock once the main story has been completed. But I have to say that this is extremely satisfying. This is a game that we have been waiting such a long time for, and to think that there is about like 3+ days worth of content sitting on this disc at the moment is a really exciting thought. So I can't wait to see just how much content is going to be packed into this game. Now we also don't know how many total worlds are going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, but with knowing a estimated game length for the game so far, I think it's safe to assume that there's most likely going to be either 12 or 13 worlds in the game. If you look at it, we're most likely going to be spending 3 to 4 hours per world. If the main story is going to be taking around 40 to 50 hours, then it does make sense that if there are 12 to 13 worlds, with having 3 to 4 hour sections per world, that would make up a total to close of 40 to 50 hours. So for me personally, as of right now, just with knowing this kind of estimated game time, it seems to be that there is likely going to be 12 worlds or 13 worlds with 3 to 4 hour sections. But guys, that is all for today's video. Just thought I would talk about this news first and foremostly, mainly because it is some pretty important stuff. We now know a sort of estimated game length for Kingdom Hearts 3, and with it being described as being 80+ hours worth of content, including both main story as well as the additional extra side stuff, already that is just so satisfying. I'm really excited to see exactly what this additional stuff is going to be. We already know this game is massive, and Square Enix have already explained that they are already having storage issues when it comes to the overall content of the game itself. In the comment section down below, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions towards this. Are you satisfied with a 40 to 50 hour main story arc for the game, and then about 80+ hours of total game time, including the extras? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions towards this. However, guys, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stunning. Gold in my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crate, gaming up your bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.